quick follow-up. I know there was a lot of talk about you, about what you should do and whatnot. I mean, truthfully, through it all, was there any thought about, walking away or whatnot after, the second time you put in protocol? And just if not, what kind of led you to have that confidence to not really consider that?
Yeah, that's a good question. I think I considered it, for a time, having sat down with my family, having sat down with my wife and having those kind of conversations. But really, it would be hard for me to walk away from this game with how old I am, with my son. I always dreamed of growing, playing as long as I could to where my son knew exactly what, he was watching his dad do. And it's my health, it's my body, and I feel like this is what's best for me and my family. So, I love the game of football. If I didn't, I would have quit a long time.
Did you hear what he just said? I hope you listened very closely to what Tua Tagovailoa just said. Today, Tua took to the podium and answered questions from the media for the first time in months, not including the Super Bowl fiasco when he canceled a bunch of the interviews. He directly took questions from the press. And in doing so, he confirmed something I said last week that nobody wanted to hear. I was blasted. I was flamed. I told you that Tua considered retirement, and people were saying that it wasn't true, that I was just making up, that it wasn't a bombshell. This is all over sports media today, and I said it to you last week. Tua seriously considered retirement from the NFL. He just confirmed it. This concussion matter was a lot worse than we were led to believe. That's been one of my biggest problems with the Miami Dolphins organization for quite some time. People ask me, did I flip on Tua? No, I didn't flip on Tua. Things didn't make any sense. Listen to this video from December 28th by Mike McDaniel.
He did suffer a concussion then.
He did.
Do we know what stage of the protocol he's in right now?
No, I'm not even really worried about any of that. Again, it is like, you lean on, in moments like this, you lean on medical professionals, and I stopped even thinking about anything but each day, and when it was clear and obvious that is the best thing for him. So stage, all that stuff, it's just a day at a time.
So on December 28th, Mike McDaniel confirmed that Tua had indeed received a concussion, which means he was automatically in the concussion protocol. Now listen to what his parents said a month later on January 26th.
The power of prayer is truly amazing. And not only, not only locally in the United States, but globally. Across the globe, everyone was just praying, in agreement for his healing and just for our healing as well. As parents, we don't ever want to see our children hurt. So just the prayers have been so comforting, and we're so grateful.
He's great. He's doing fine. He's happy. And that's the most important thing, right? As parents, you like to see your kids, a smile on their face when you walk into their house and their home. But he's doing great. And we thank you guys for everything, man. The support, Hawaii, Samoa, New Zealand, globally. Those of you that supported our son and us and our family, thank you so much. Thank you.
Is there any doubt that he comes back and plays football next year?
Oh, he comes back.
He comes back.
Yeah, he comes back. You know what I'm saying? And that's their guy. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. They love him. We love them and what they're doing, and how they're, helping him with his recovery and everything else, trying to get him back. Yeah. Still going through his protocol, but man, we're grateful for them too. Very thankful for Miami, the organization, the owner, and so is Greer, and, as a GM, head coach Mike. That guy's special. Very special head coach.
To his father, in that video on January 26th, a month later, A full month after the Green Bay game, he confirmed that his son was still in the concussion protocol. And now we find out today, it is absolutely confirmed that Tua was considering retirement. Not a rumor, not conjecture, not just Barry saying it. Tua himself stepped up to the podium and said, yeah, I considered retirement.
Were you close to playing in the playoffs, or was that not a possibility?
I am not sure. I was going through my process with Kyle and just trying to do everything I could to get better. But at any point, whenever the team, Mike or Greer would have approached me and asked me if I were ready, there's no question, no doubt in my mind that I would have stepped up to the plate and answered the call.
But the funny thing is, he said he was ready to go. He was ready to continue playing. If they had called upon him, he would have been ready to play. So I don't understand what happened. Did the Dolphins sit him? Did they just decide that they weren't going to allow him to play any longer and delayed the concussion protocol exit? I'm not sure because nobody told us. We just get bits and pieces. But whatever happened, Tua is back. He's ready to play. And God forbid he doesn't get another concussion. We've heard from Sportscaster and Sports Journal over and over. What if? What if Tua gets hurt again? Now, nobody has a crystal ball and nobody knows, but you're telling me you were this close, or that close, or this close. We don't know how close you were. You were close to retiring in December, January. You thought about retiring then. What happens if Tua gets another concussion? We know the upside. We know that if Tua is healthy and gets through the season, the Dolphins have a really good chance of going to the Super Bowl. But what happens? How are the Dolphins prepared if Tua Tagovailoa goes down again? I can almost guarantee you, based upon almost retiring back in December or January, that if he goes down with a concussion again, he's probably done. And deservedly so. I would hate to see this kid damaged for the rest of his life. So the question remains, what happens if Tua Tagovailoa can't make it this year? If, God forbid, something happened with Tua in one of the 18 or 20 weeks of this NFL season, who are you betting on? Are you putting this team in the hands of Mike White? Are you putting this team in the hands of Skylar Thompson? Is that what Mike McDaniel and Chris Greer are really telling us? So if you knew that your franchise quarterback was close to retirement back in January or February, why haven't you done anything to make sure you're prepared if he goes down again? We all know the upside. We know what can happen if he's ready to play and he goes for it, but you're not going to know. Remember, quarterbacks don't get touched. He's not going to get a finger laid on him in OTAs. He's not going to get so much as a fart thrown his way during preseason camp. He's not going to play probably in the preseason games. We won't know until September if he's truly healed. So it's April right now. We're talking 5 more months of what if. You won't know until that first hit. No player knows until that first hit how they're going to react. And don't think with the schedule that the Dolphins have this year that they're not facing some of the fiercest rushers in the league. Micah Parsons, Chris Jones, this is going to be a crazy tough schedule. And we won't know, and the Dolphins won't know how Tua is going to react until at least September. Knowing that, and knowing that he could have retired in January, what's your backup plan? What's plan B? We all know what the upside is. The downside, to me, is devastating for the Miami Dolphins. So, we all have to go all in on Tua because we don't have any other choice. As Dominique Foxworthy said, there's nobody else there. This is it. We have to hope that Tua is prepared, and you've done nothing to upgrade the offensive line whatsoever. You're hoping that Austin Jackson is going to carry the right tackle load. He goes down, what do? People are out here asking about Dalvin Cook. Come on. Tua is your golden goose. Tua is the golden goose. Tua is what's holding this franchise together. And it just doesn't seem like anybody wants to address the what if. Every sports journal says it. I say it. Every guy on YouTube says it. What if? You don't have to talk about if not. We know he can ball out. But what happens to the Dolphins as a team, as a competitive team, if for some reason Tua can't make it? I'm glad today he finally confirmed what I said. He confirmed it without any equivocation. Yes, I strongly considered retirement, but I wanted to come back. I'm committed to this team. I want to come back and play. Let's hope for his sake, forget the Dolphins, let's hope for his sake he has a healthy season. Let me know what you guys think. Fins up.
What should the Dolphins' expectations be if Tua can stay healthy?
If Tua can stay healthy, they're going to be vying for a team. They're going to be vying to represent the AFC in the Super Bowl. That's how great Tua was playing out there on the field. When Tua was healthy, he was a top 5 quarterback, top 3, I would say, quarterback in the National Football League. His numbers were outstanding last year. He was one of the best deep ball throwers that we have in this league, one of the most accurate quarterbacks. So, again, it's all incumbent on Tua staying healthy. If he's healthy, the Miami Dolphins are going to be a legit threat in the AFC this year.
Absolutely. Once again, though, I think the comment that stood out the most to many of us is the fact that, yes, he did take a step back and consider retirement. But he says, nope, not yet. I'm coming back and I'm all in.
Is anybody catching on to this Barry guy?